you have to be able to put yourself out to the elements, because the elements will bend you in ways that you never thought you'd be able to withstand. Getting into a business, sometimes, not just business, many aspects of life, if you want to get through the hurdle, and to break through the threshold, life will break you. This is like highly controversial. Like, he is the most controversial president the US has ever had and will probably ever have. So that's what happened to me. I isolated myself in work. I didn't go out, I didn't socialize, I didn't communicate that much other than work. I'm all for immigration, 100%, right? Like, my parents are immigrants, they immigrated to this country. I'm all for immigration, don't get me wrong. But don't just open the floodgates and just let everybody in at once kind of thing. Like, control it.
I just want to thank you, man, for being my first guest in my podcast.
It's an honor.
You know, you've been a guest in my other podcast, the one I had, when was that? That was pre-pandemic.
Yeah, that was a while back, and a lot has changed since then, that's for sure.
A lot has changed.
I remember that podcast. I was so nervous.
I remember you being extremely nervous, yeah.
I feel better now. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, since then you've done quite a bit more interviews, because I remember
a little bit.
At that time you were already in business for a while.
Yes, but
you were just in business. I remember you back then. You're a completely different person right now.
The thing is, I lived and breathed for the business. I mean, that's all I did.
Yeah. I remember you were always very stressed. You're a little bit more relaxed now. You're still a little bit stressed. Just a little bit. That's when you called me. Yeah. But I felt back then that you weren't comfortable. You weren't comfortable in front of a camera. You weren't comfortable, sitting down, having a little interview or a podcast.
Well, I lived and breathed for that business. I was working 7 days a week, open to close, wearing every hat in every department, running around like crazy. So I think that certain other social skills, sort of like were left behind.
Yeah.
My focus was so much on accomplishing things with the business in Mississauga, because it was a scary time in my life. It was a new store that my parents opened. They put me in charge, and there were too many unknowns for me at the time.
How old were you?
I was 26 years old.
26?
Yeah.
Wow.
There were a lot of unknowns for me. There were, for all of us. I mean, and that store was sort of like an experiment store where I would just test all sorts of different things that we simply were not doing before. And so...
Because, I mean... At 26, I don't care how much time you've had seeing your parents do, being in business, because you did have all that time. I mean, you basically always remember your parents in business, probably.
Yes.
But going from seeing someone in business and being in business,
different.
It's completely different. And it wasn't just like a little corner store. You know what I mean? Like, it was how many employees did you start off with there?
I'd say about 30 to begin with.
Oof.
Yeah.
Did you actually have any like managing sense of people, of a team before opening that store?
To be honest, it was God bless my parents. They immigrated to this country with nothing, because the last thing I want to do is make it seem like I'm criticizing my family in any way, shape, or form. But God bless them. They came to this country with nothing. And when you're young...
I value that so much, man. Could you even imagine coming to a country without speaking the language right and just starting a business? I mean, kudos to them and to anybody that's starting.
Today, there's a lot of social programs that help people that are struggling.
Exactly.
Like, I remember my mother always said, she's paid a lot of taxes to the government, but she's never benefited from the government with the social programs that exist. When they came to this country, it was obviously very, very difficult. I mean, they started from like rock bottom, from zero, and so they built and built. The crazy thing is, when you're young and you look at your parents, you always look at them like they know what they're doing. They got it going on. They're in control. They know what they're doing. I look back now and I realize that there were a lot of things they also didn't know.
Listen, like I'm doing that myself. Like my kids, I'm guessing my kids look at me like, Dad's got it. That understands.
He knows exactly.
He knows what he's doing,
the
for sure.
direction he's going in.
And most of the times, I'm just winging it.
Yeah.
I'm just,
I'm
just trying to prove, Dad knows. Yeah.
I realize that now in hindsight. And the crazy thing is, We picked up where they kind of left off. They got to a certain age. They had already contributed tremendously. They had built significantly. And then my brother and I, we sort of expanded upon that. So I was put in the position of managing the store in Mississauga. I was 26 years old, set up the entire store from the shelves to the produce counter to the island freezer.
You're still very hands-on. I see you there.
Not as much.
Not as much, but you still,
still.
It's like that little urge. You have to go there and you gotta fix
sure
things.
At Christmas time, I can't let go. I definitely have to be there with my team. For me, it's a great honor to work along their side. You know.
Yeah.
And it brings back memories from, that's what I used to do all day, every day. The pandemic was really, really tough.
I can imagine.
I mean, again, I was at the store every day at 6 a.m. We would leave very late. The first year, I'd be staying until closing. There were days we would leave at like 10 o'clock at night. I had an amazing team, very supportive people working with us.
Those times were like crazy, man.
Yeah.
And they affected us so much to the point where 4 or 5 years later, we're still talking about it. I mean, this is, I think, our generation or most people watching us, I think, will be affected by this forever. You know, when the older people used to talk about, when I went to war, or when I went to Vietnam, or, you know, all these things, the pandemic kind of became that for us, for this generation.
No, it definitely created a shift in the way people see life.
Yeah.
And the way they value their time. You never know what tomorrow may bring. And although like we're all aware of this, but the pandemic sort of made it more relevant.
Yeah.
And I think people are trying to have a more work-life balance. And
I feel like you're right. Like when it comes to like having a supermarket and working there, it's difficult. But I've seen a lot of people in my field, design, marketing, and all of that they shifted home because of the pandemic, and they kind of lingered there, right? And a lot of people found it comfortable just being at home, not having to deal with traffic and all of that. I was one of those that stayed home, obviously, and I worked from home a lot, but I couldn't, man.
That's not a long-term solution.
I couldn't.
People need to get up, get dressed, go out.
Yeah.
It sucks if people have to commute too far to get to work every day, wait in traffic.
Especially in the traffic that we have in this city.
But
it's getting worse and worse by the day.
If you can live close to work, that is more ideal, right? But I mean, for some people, there's tremendous cost savings by making the sacrifice to travel. So, you know, you have to weigh the pros and cons about that.
Yeah.
Because living in the city of Toronto can be
it's tough.
Pretty expensive.
I mean, it's expensive and it's kind of crazy. It's very stressful. I mean, a lot of people, you know, that might be watching this that don't live around here. It's insane. It's a big city. We get it. It's, you know, it's just the same thing as New York or LA or whatever. But it does get to you, man. We have, I think nowadays because of technology, instead of helping us, I think it made our lives a lot more difficult.
Yeah. And
I feel like that plus the traffic, plus all of the stress, everybody's stressed out. You step on the road, everybody's like, it's crazy, man. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
So I remember, how many years ago would this have been? What was it? Maybe, I don't know, 7 to 10 years ago. Houses that were like $600,000. And I thought that was crazy money, $600,000.
Yeah.
Today, so like imagine 7 to 10 years go by, you'd think that, so that's older by that amount. So there's more wear and tear to it. But it's actually double the price, right?
Or even more.
And so when you buy a house today, you're really just buying the location. It's all about location.
That's it. That's all you're buying.
That's actually quite old. Like houses
I say this all the time. Like our house isn't, it's a house in Toronto. And when when you have to go through the whole get your mortgage renewed and all of that, you have to appraise your house again. And my last appraisal, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way my house is worth this much. But it's location. Yeah. Right. And that was it. I was one of the fortunate ones that bought it like 15 years ago. So early on, I got lucky on that sense. And great. I'm not complaining at all. Yeah. Right. But it's a bit insane when I think about my kids. Right. I have a daughter that's 21 and my kid's 15. And I look at them and I'm like, what's going to be their future? Like, if we as parents don't help our kids, how are they going to be able to buy a house and live in this city? It's crazy.
No, the world's becoming a much more unfair playing ground. I mean, when you look at the fact that there's going to be this tremendous wealth transfer that's happening, so the people that inherit, the millennials that inherit from the baby boomers, they're going to have a tremendous advantage, and they're going to be able to invest that and go further, whereas those that don't have that, it's going to be a lot harder for them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's definitely going to be shifts in the sense where there's going to be those that have a lot more and those that simply won't as much, which is
it's going to be hard for them. But you know what? We're digressing already. I want to bring you back to the early days of the opening the store.
Sure.
Because I want to actually, because I know that there's people that are going to be watching this that are entrepreneurs themselves or are thinking about opening their own business. I want to make that reality check, because it is what it is. It's a reality check. Like a lot of times we have this idea, I'm going to open a business, but we only think about the end result right away. And we don't think about all of the struggles and all of the issues that come along. And I want you to just summarize in a few words, like the first 5 years of opening that business. Like, what was probably the biggest struggle you had that you didn't expect, and some other struggles that you had to overcome that you weren't even thinking about?
I think that for the most case, to be successful, you have to be able to put yourself out to the elements, because the elements will bend you in ways that you never thought you'd be able to withstand. Getting into a business sometimes, not just business, many aspects of life. If you want to get through the hurdle and to break through the threshold, life will break you. And being in business will do that to you. And I think that, building that store with me being a perfectionist and just feeling that things were so far from where I wanted them to be in the future, and I didn't have any idea how I was going to get there. And so every day was I was waking up to just another very, very stressful day. Having a good team makes all the difference. When you
but how difficult is it to find the right team, though?
It's really difficult. When you're a big company, what big companies do is they will hire extra people. They have the budget. And if you need 30, you're going to hire 40.
Yeah.
But then you're going to downscale and see who are the best.
But you need to have that leverage, though.
But when you're a smaller independent like us, you take what you can get and hope for the best and pick up wherever anybody is not performing up.
That's
to
when
par.
The interview stage, you're going through the resume, you put it aside and you try to look in their eyes and see if they're telling the truth or not.
So and this is why in this industry it is quite difficult, because you're dealing with perishable items. And I'm the kind of guy, stress over waste a lot. I hate to see food being thrown out. And so I spent a lot of time working in produce, right? So in the early days we didn't have the turnover that we hoped for in the beginning, right? We're a new business. We were the new store on the block. And so I felt like we're going to have to work harder than anybody else. We're going to have to sell better quality products, or similar quality products at better prices. Or what would be the reason to entice people to shop at our store? The Portuguese demographic wasn't like so surrounded in our location in Mississauga. And so I felt like we were going to have to brand ourselves, not just with the Portuguese community, but elsewhere as well, but always keeping the Portuguese community in our hearts 100%. They are our base. I'll never forget that. A million percent.
That's where you guys started, right? And those are the roots.
And so, but we wanted to brand ourselves, to the general population. And so, that took a lot of, that was an uphill battle for sure.
You mentioned that you're a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist as well. And I'm going to ask you the question about being a perfectionist. And I'm smiling because it's the problem I have as well. Do you think that by being a perfectionist, that's what kind of holds us back into probably expanding as fast as we should sometimes? Because we want everybody else to be exactly like us. We want photocopies of us.
Yeah, I think the perfectionists are the people that maybe take longer to achieve. It's not that they take long, but the thing is, I do believe in, you don't cut corners.
Yeah.
You got to go from A to Z, and in the long run, the probability of it paying off is much, much higher, I think, if you're a perfectionist. Because honestly, with any aspect of our life, but more specifically business, you got to pay attention to the details, you know, because subconsciously people pick up on those things, you know. And so merchandising is important, branding is important.
Yeah, the image, the brand, the marketing side of everything.
The look and feel, when you want to be successful in something, you got to put that which you want to be successful with ahead of you.
Yeah.
So I had to put that store ahead of me, and I did so for years and years and years of my life, right? But today I look back and I say, you know, I don't think that during that time it was very, very difficult, tremendous sacrifices. But I look back now and it's like, I realized that it was a necessity. It had to be done. Yeah. Of course, I would have done things a little bit differently so that it wouldn't have been so hard.
Yeah, but
I didn't have that experience.
Exactly. How would you guess? Yeah. Right. You have to kind of go through it, right? And I feel like it's a curse and a blessing having all of this social media, all of this information at our hands. I feel like sometimes the image of the perfect business and the perfect world and perfect relationships, and because nobody's going to post an ugly picture on Instagram, right? Unless they're me, because I don't care and I post whatever. But the bottom line is, like, most people, they post their best moments. They post the team that's all smiling, the store when it's clean up the store because we're going to take a picture, right? And then the other side is that the viewer, you know, your audience, the person that's probably thinking about opening a store or doing something similar to what you're doing, they're seeing all the good things that everybody's posting. And I think that's what's making people lose that sensibility of reality, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, there's also a lot of sharing of information.
Yeah.
Which I find to be amazing. Like even in my area, like I try to share as much as I can. I'm not afraid to just, you know, look at the camera and say, you should be doing this or you should do that. Don't make this mistake. This morning, I just had a conversation this morning about a client and what he's all about to somebody I didn't even know. He kind of called me just to find things out. And I told him. And when I look back, and I don't know if you felt the same thing, when we look back 15, 20 years, that reality didn't exist. People used to, you know, they kept the cards right close to the chest.
Yeah, 100%.
Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
I can remember when I started my business, and I don't know if you felt the same thing when you opened your store. Nobody would tell you shit.
No.
It's like, nah, you would have to figure out everything by yourself.
So I'll tell you something. This is crazy. Just for you to understand the magnitude of how little I knew and how far I had to come and how much I needed to learn still at that time. I definitely had heart. Your heart has to be in the right place. And this is why I'm saying,
passion has to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have passion. And this is why I was saying, and I lost my trail of thought.
It's okay. I have that effect on people.
Yeah.
No, but we're talking about the passion, and I was saying how, you know, sometimes people wouldn't say anything back in the day. They would just keep everything to themselves. If they saw the new kid on the block coming around.
Yes. So
yeah. See, I'm good with this.
We every single label that you see on the shelves, right?
Yeah.
When we started, I wanted that. It's called perforated paper. I didn't know that at the time. We were cutting that with a scissor, every single rectangle with the barcode.
It's these little things, man.
Yeah.
It's these little things.
So it was taking us forever. I cut many myself with a scissor. And I would go on the computer and I would look up shelf labels or shelf signs or shelf whatever, and everything would show up except for what I was looking for, right?
Yeah.
But there were, I went to Staples and I asked, I don't need any of the stuff that you guys have in the store. What I need is these labels like you have here on your shelves. Where can I get that? And they're like, oh, that comes from head office. We don't actually sell that. And I'm like, where can I possibly find this? So after so many, but there were people that could have, you know, told us that, but you know, nobody really shares that any kind of information. You have to ask.
Exactly.
And it's not on the other person to tell you. It really, you have nobody to blame but yourself. It is nice if people see, like I'm one of those people that if I see that I can share some information with you that will benefit you and it'll be helpful to you.
Yeah.
I will definitely share that always.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of guy.
That's the way it should be. And I'm glad that things are shifting now.
Yeah. And so, and as absurd as this may seem, the company that sold that, I come to learn that it was called Perforated Paper. It was literally around the corner from us. It's called Shelf Talk Manufacturers, and they were on Stansfield, and they were literally just around the corner from us.
The new sponsors of this podcast, thank you for... No,
yeah, and I was looking everywhere for that. And so then once I stumbled upon them, I realized the other products that they have, and they had like the plastics to hold like other signs and all sorts of like shelf talkers.
But it's what you're saying. I'm pretty sure you knew other people in business that were probably already they already knew about this place or similar places.
In their defense, they probably didn't really pick up on. At the end of the day, everybody is so busy. Like we got salespeople there. They probably noticed that we were cutting that, or something was off. But everybody's so busy. They're just trying to make a sale. They got their own stuff to do. They got a bunch of customers they got to visit. They're under their own stress.
But let me ask, did you actually go to some of the businesses and ask them where they got it? Like aside from Staples.
From Staples, yeah.
Did you actually go to some other places and ask? Because I'm asking this, you know why? Because looking back in my business, a lot of times I would expect people to ask me something or expect people to know all of the things we offered. I would expect that, and I wouldn't ask them.
Yeah, that shelf, perforated paper was an example. But when we were setting up the store, there were people that could have shared information with us that we knew. I know today that they knew.
They could have.
They could have shared it with us. I had to find out everything. I had to figure out everything the hard way. You know, and it was so easy, like just.
But listen, now we know who they are, and we'll go knock at their door.
Yeah, there's no need for that. Something as simple as like I would go into other stores, I would see clips, I would see plastics, I would see shelf talkers, I would see all these things that makes the store look more legitimate. We didn't have any of these things, and it was just like even stuff like that would be concerning to me and worrisome to me because it's like I don't want to look like less of a grocery store. I want to look like a legitimate, serious grocery store, just like any of these big box stores.
Where did that concern come from? Is it just from you?
It's from me. It's me focusing on the future. Like, what is the future going to be if, not to make it sound negative or anything, but you don't want to position yourself as always being sort of like a mom and pop shop. You want to be like a local independent, which is important, right? But you also want to brand yourself and look as professional as possible. And all of those little intricate things make up that,
Yeah.
Like, honestly, in the beginning, our branding didn't match at all.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really have a uniform. Our freezer wrap is now branded. Our shopping bags are branded, and mats are branded. Labels are branded, and so our website has to match.
Yeah.
Our advertisements have to match. So everything matches. We didn't have that before, and so all those things correspond.
And I'm glad that you're saying that. But we've known each other for a long time, and you always had that in you of having the branding right and all of that.
We didn't have a slogan.
Yeah.
I came up with the slogan "Quality for Less." I love that. I love the sound of that. And the thing is, so your business now, you have to live up to that motto, to that slogan.
You've always had that side of you. Do you find that, like, when you look around in let's talk a little bit about our community, like, do you feel like there could be more done in our community in terms of marketing, or are you starting to see a shift going?
I'm starting to see a shift. I mean, and I'm really proud. Like, there are certain restaurants in the Portuguese community that they are top, and they do such a good job.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud to see that. Yeah. And I wish I could see more of that, right? I think that brings success in the. It's expensive, and complicates things a little bit more. But
it complicates in the beginning, but afterwards, it actually. I think it makes it easier.
That's exactly 100%. Yes. In the beginning, there's a lot of hurdles that come with all of that, right? But it's just one of those things. You look back after, and you overcame a few more, bumps and things like that, and it just comes with the territory. I mean, it's a necessity. It has you have to do it.
And then you also expand, because in your business, if whoever hasn't gone to your store yet, aside from the supermarket side, you have right within the same store, but it's almost like on the side, you have your bakery cafe, where there's deliciousness going on all the time, which is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I have to ask I have to say, you guys have the best tasting cakes there that even in Portugal, I haven't had a cake that tasted so good. Guardanapo.
Oh, the guardanapo. Yeah.
They're so good.
They are.
They're
yes.
the biggest. I can't go to your store now without grabbing two.
Yes.
I hope my personal trainer is not watching this right now, but it is.
Yeah.
Kudos. I don't know I don't care.
Yes,
I just wanted to tell you this. I've been meaning to tell you this for a while. It's become my addiction, and I will say I'm gonna avoid going to your store because I can't have cake now, and it's just I have to. They're so good. They're so. And are you part of that as well? Like, do you quality control everything that's being done there as well?
No, I've done a lot of delegating.
Because I know your wife is very much hands-on as well in that section, right?
Yeah, Ligia helps me a lot. So she oversees the bakery for the most part. But we have great people.
So I have to find out the secret from her. Where does these guardanaps come from?
So when I started the journey of building the bakery, so that was tremendous trial and error.
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much made every mistake in the book trying to get that place to what it is today. I mean, and
but it's a success
shooter.
now,
I'm
man.
a straight shooter. I call it as it is. Many mistakes. Part of being successful is persistence is key, no matter how difficult it gets and how off you think you are from your mark. Just every day, just try to do a little bit more, and progress compounds, and just it will get better. And sometimes it doesn't take. You might think like if it takes weeks or months, it takes years.
I like that one. Progress compounds.
Yeah,
I like that one.
A little bit every day goes a long way.
Yeah.
People think that if it doesn't happen instantly, like these stories where people invest in the stock market and they just made all this money and all this stuff. No, you have to invest in the long run. You have to invest in your business, invest in yourself, invest in the people around you. But those things take time, takes commitment, and that creates loyalty. When people realize, hold on, this person is capable of going through this and this and this, and not give up and not stop and keep going, people will see you for that, and
they'll give you credit
respect
for it.
You for that.
Yeah.
They'll give you credit for that, and then you will start to be able to build a base of people around you because you have that credibility now. And if you treat people good along the way, then even better for you. Eventually, you will be able to capitalize on that. Now, you don't do it with the idea of benefiting for yourself. Well, you do it because you have a good heart, and even if you don't gain anything from it, seeing the joy in another that you brought into another person's life,
that should be more than enough.
Rewarding
actually.
enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And with that mindset, I think that you're emitting good energy into the world, and I think that, but naturally, organically. And that will bring you benefits. But you don't do it because of the benefits you're going to get. You do it because you just want to be this person that puts out good energy. Because at the end of the day, if you're complaining about your life, you don't like what life is giving you, focus on what you're putting out, because it's about give and take, like what you put out, what you say, what you
We've
do.
had these conversations before about energies. How much of a believer are you in yin and yang and the good and the bad?
Yeah, no, I believe in it. It's hard to, because life throws curveballs at you. Lots of ups and downs. That's just life. To live is to suffer, bottom line. The sooner a person learns that in life, the better.
Yeah.
This is something that parents should start teaching their kids right away. Not like life is, like Sylvester Stallone said in the movie Sunshine and Rainbows. It's not. To live is to suffer, bottom line. The sooner a person learns that, the better. But with that, don't let it change who you are. Keep trying to fight to be a good person, open doors for people, even if life, slams one in your face, there's a person walking behind you, hold the door for that person, be that person in life. I think at the end of the day, you will walk with a clear conscience. That clear conscience will help levitate you so that you can, and empower you to, at least feel better. At the end of the day, when people that are bad, subconsciously they know that they did wrong, and I don't feel that they could truly feel content, even if they have a lot of assets. I don't think that a person can truly feel content if they've done wrong to other people.
Well, you hear a lot of times, you know, these guys that are millionaires, billionaires, when they're asked, are you happy, or what makes you happy?
Yeah.
If you notice, they never say the money.
Yeah.
The money was, it's almost like a game,
Yeah.
right? That they wanted to just achieve that to that point. Not saying that obviously it's great to have a nice house and have everything you need, but they understand that the core is being a good person.
Yeah.
Because a good person is going to keep your family together. It's going to keep your friends there with you.
Yeah.
It's going to keep that good vibe going in your life. If you're just an ass and you just don't care about people, you're going to end up alone. Money, yeah, it can buy you people, but all you're buying is somebody's company. Exactly. You know, or just to have somebody beside you, but that person doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
So does that really matter, right? And when I hear a lot of these guys that are in those top positions, it always comes down to that. Family first. That's all. That's one of the things they always say is like family first, friends first. And that's why I think it's so important.
To a lot of those people that get to that level where they have that kind of money, it gets lonely at the top.
Yeah.
You know, I find.
Well, because a lot of them, they look at what they had to sacrifice in order to get there. Like a lot of these, and like you were just saying, when you opened the store, you were all in. A lot of hours, like opening a business, having a business, being a successful entrepreneur. It's not just, you know, oh yeah, I got lucky. Yeah, some people do get lucky, but that's such a small percentage of people. Most of them, you work your ass off. You work 16, 17-hour days. Yeah. It's hard to keep the impossible balance that people want to have in their lives when you're starting a business. It's so hard. So a lot of times there's ruptures. Family goes another way. You know, you lose those connections. You lose your friends.
Yeah.
So that's why when they get to that point.
So that's what happened to me. I isolated myself in work.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go out. I didn't socialize. I didn't communicate that much other than work. Like, just anything related to produce, codfish, bacalhau.
I get it. Because I was the same thing in my business. I was doing the same thing. Only now, lately, have I been, hold on, like this is insane. I need to open a little bit more
there was a time I really didn't, I felt like, hold on, there's something wrong with me. I don't know how to socialize. I don't know how to speak about anything outside of work and sacrifice. And I was like, I need to make changes because that's not healthy either.
Now, you know, in the last couple of years, whenever I swing by and have that cake, when we talk a little bit, I find that you're someone that you're a lot more calm, but you also are a lot more in tune with what's going on in the world, which you weren't in the beginning. I remember, you're right. You were just business. Yeah. I would get there and Paul would be like stressed out and I need to get this and I need to do that and I need to do the other thing. But now we actually have conversations about whatever's going on in the world, or did you see this? Did you hear what this guy's doing? Are you stopping during the day to read up, to listen to more stuff? What is the difference between that Paul that I met 15 years ago and the guy that I have sitting in front of me right now when it comes to that?
Just a certain concern for what's happening in the world, I guess. And I guess at that time, I was just I would absorb myself in some form of entertainment. So it wasn't like, I wasn't absorbing knowledge about what was happening in the world, because that would just take up more of the cells in my brain to focus on something else that I just didn't feel like my brain was capable of anything more other than what I was dealing with at the time. Yeah. So I was totally consumed in work, and so. But today, you want to be in the here and now and know about what's going on in the world, and understand how that's going to affect the children of the future, what's going to happen with that, and how it's affecting the economy today. How things are shifting. All these things that are happening.
Do you see yourself when you're searching for info, when you're searching for news? Are you looking at those aspects specifically, like politics, or just general stuff in the world, or do you have a specific?
So I've always been a very curious person, and I ask a lot of questions. I've studied things to do with like companies, people that have, because I always wondered, like, how did these companies get to the level they're at? How did they grow that much, you know? It does have to do with different times as well.
Okay.
Things just seem to be getting, like technology has made life a lot easier in a certain sense, but a heck of a lot more competitive, because the technology that is available to me is even more available to these large companies, and they're just growing and growing and growing at a rate that it just becomes harder to match or to compete with, right?
What's your biggest concern when you look at the world that we're living in today? Like, what concerns you? Like, is there something that will keep you up at night?
What concerns me, I guess, is how things are shifting in the sense, the way, and I don't know if I should say this, but it just seems like the
nobody's listening to us.
The governments have
It's a brand new podcast. We got 2 listeners.
Yeah.
My mom and somebody.
The governments in most of the developed worlds, and I don't know if I sound ungrateful saying this, because I mean we do live in a great country, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also when you think about how difficult, you know, the cost of living has become, especially with housing, it's like, how did they mess up that badly? Like, aren't they supposed to be smarter than us? Because I kind of feel like you didn't have to be like this scholar to understand that if you do certain things a certain way, the outcome 10 years down the road is going to be this. Like, did they not realize that this was what was going to happen?
Right.
It almost makes it seem like they wanted this. And then the thing is this, if it happened in one country, but it happened in all the countries, right?
Exactly. My question is, why don't they look at, this happened in this country. Like, probably it's not a good idea to do it on this one.
How did they allow... And of course, I'm all for immigration, 100%, right? Like, my parents are immigrants. They immigrated to this country. I'm all for immigration. Don't get me wrong. But don't just open the floodgates and just let everybody in at once kind of thing. Like, control it. Everything, there has to be control. It just seems like a lot of people came in at once, and that caused the housing prices to go up. And then there was a lot of foreign investment. There were, like, a lot of condos were being bought by foreign countries, and they were just... And now the problem is... the aftermath of that is they now shut immigration and they shut foreign investment, but that's creating another huge problem.
Yeah.
And it's like,
they're trying to fix one problem and they're just creating 10 more.
Yeah, because now without that foreign investment, there's a lot of people that are bleeding money in the condo industry, and these builders, they're also bleeding money because people aren't buying, and there's a lot of people losing money.
Well, I mean, there's a ton of other uncertainties as well, right?
But there's so many projects that could have been getting built that are now on standby because people just aren't getting into building right now, right? Because things just, you know, there aren't buyers, so they want to bring in foreign investment again. So what is that going to do? And it's just, so it's like this yo-yo effect, and it's like, but aren't you guys supposed to be professionals? Like, I can't treat my business that way and expect to be successful. How are you guys managing?
And not expect to get fired, right?
Yeah, and the thing, and then
like if you were doing this in your store, you would be fired, right?
Yeah. And there's always zero accountability. Nobody's ever responsible for anything, and it just seems like it's scary to see how things have transcended and how complicated that's going to be for, you know, future generations.
Yeah, and honestly, listen, I'm not the guy to talk politics. I read the headlines.
Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, I see a lot of blame being put on to, let's say, our fellow Americans, and in particular Trump, which, by the way, a lot of the things he's doing, I don't agree with either, right? Yeah. But I don't think we should be blaming people. We should be fixing what we have, right? Yeah. And I think when I look at our government right now, I feel like they're constantly covering little holes while other holes are kind of appearing here and there. You know, it feels like our streets here in Toronto, it's potholes everywhere. Yeah. Our government is kind of the same way. It's difficult to navigate because being in business, and I'm bringing it back to business, we get affected because the buying power is gone. Like you said, people are now in a position where, should I spend more, or is something going to happen? Am I going to be out of a job next week? Like, what's happening here? Are things going to keep going up? Can I afford to do this? Can I afford to buy that? And I feel like we're going through some...
It just seems like what's happening here is the government accidentally or something does things in such a way where people start to struggle and then they offer you support. It shouldn't be that way. The government, I think, should do things in such a way where your average person could go out and work and make a good life for themselves by... Our currency is way too low, which is making all imports much more expensive. People are paying 10 to 15% more on everything we import.
I'm
from
pretty
Europe.
sure you've been feeling that one.
Yeah, and yeah, this housing situation is just very, very unfortunate.
I just feel like the politics, they're all about reacting right now instead of acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just covering the issues that are going on. So they're reacting to the issues that happen. I feel like we need to get a government that can actually step back. Okay, guys, this isn't, you don't have to...
But what they say is the only way to really make things better is things, and it's just like almost anything in life, things have to get worse before they get better. And but
how much worse, though?
Nobody wants to go through that naturally. So nobody wants things to get worse. And so it's like we're just hanging on.
What's your perspective on our affairs with our neighbors down south?
The U.S.?
Yeah,
I just find that Trump is not diplomatic at all. You know, like horrible. Just his approach to resolving problems, even if he's right? You can't act like you're this almighty powerful person that can do whatever he wants and speak in every way you want, because you could be right. Like maybe I did something that you didn't like, right? And if you speak to me and bring it to my attention, I, for the most part, will, apologize and I wasn't aware. I hope you accept my apology or not. But if you come to me and it wasn't that big of a deal, but you feel entitled to now degrade me or put me down or whatever, it's like, I don't think that's the right approach. And it seems like that's how he acts with countries. Like
he treats them like little kids, and it's almost like you're in a playground. It feels to me like he's in the playground with all the other kids, and he's the kind of the bully guy that figured out that if he just kind of like speaks a certain way, the other ones will shut up, even though whatever he's saying isn't right. I mean, the man obviously was a good business person. I mean, he made some millions, right? Yeah. He made some money. He knew a couple of things, but I honestly think is what I don't agree with him is the whole attitude that he's got with everybody, and it's what you're saying, where he's like, oh, I'm the top guy, you have to shut up, you do whatever I want.
I'll be honest, when people talk about how much money Donald Trump made and things like that, there's a lot of people that are successful in this world by going through the grind. And they become successful. There are people in this world that go through the grind but also have tremendous luck. And I think Trump, and I guess he'd be a smart guy, smart businessman, but he was also in the right place, right time, and he had a lot of luck.
Okay? Well, the bully tactic is good in business, right? Because if you can control the person you're doing business with, if you have the upper hand, if you walk into a boardroom and you're capable of standing intimidating the other person, more likely than not, you're going to be winning that argument or that deal.
Yeah.
So it worked there. What I think is the problem that I see is bringing that attitude to a country, especially United States, where everybody's got their eyes on the United States all the time. And having that attitude, I think it brings the whole attitude down.
What I find is America, which was the world's largest social experiment, because all other countries were still dealing with dictators and things of that nature, and America was the first free country in the world, so it was the world's largest social, because everybody thought that if you give freedom to the people, they're going to lose, it's going to be chaos, people are going to lose control, this and that. But it turned out to be the best thing, because people, instead of always fighting each other, they started to build businesses and communities, and so the people did that, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess the government just sort of oversees and just, you know, collects their taxes and whatnot. But anyways, but it's to say, like, America should be the country that always set the best example, right? The way that they built their infrastructure. I mean, so much started in America that all other countries in the world saw and then copied.
What do you think happened, though?
I just feel like America today, with a leader like Trump, he should be more diplomatic, set a better example, speak more eloquently. He could be right in many aspects, because before this last term that he started, a lot of people, and this is why so many people voted for him and he had so much support, a lot of people agreed with what he was saying, right?
I think a lot of people agreed with what he was saying, but because the way he put those sayings in action is where he's wrong, I think.
Exactly, yeah. But he didn't explain that he was going to do the things that he's doing now.
Exactly.
Which is, like, he attacked Venezuela, he wants Cuba, he wants Greenland, he wants, like, he just wants to...
I feel like he gave us the headlines.
Yeah.
But he didn't give us the story. You know what I mean? So he's just like, we're going to get, you know, we're going to fix immigration. What he forgot to say is all the stuff that he was going to do to do that, right?
Exactly.
And which isn't right in a lot of cases, right? Like, this whole deportation, and I get it. Listen, there's a side of me that understands that a country cannot just open the doors to everybody and just, like, here we go. Like you were saying a little while ago, we have to control that. We have to make sure things are right
in a way that it's fair.
But now
to
you
the
can't
current
just
population.
you can't just do what he's doing. Like, people are afraid. Like, you see it on TikTok and some social platforms. Those videos that you see are it's what's going on, because the news won't say it, right? You won't see that on the news. But people running, coming from school, from work, and literally seeing ICE and running home. People that are legally there, but they know that because they have a Hispanic face, or, you know what I mean? They're running for their lives. How do you live in a country when you're living in fear like this? That's where I find that he's completely wrong.
This is, like, highly, highly controversial. Like, he is the most controversial president the U.S. has ever had and will probably ever have, because what he's doing, like, for example, that with ICE, he's literally just rounding people up. Like,
it's insane.
Homeless people that they had their tents scattered all over the place. It sucks. It's a horrible situation. He wasn't the one that created that situation. I understand that. But to just round everything up all at once and just, I don't know what he does with it. Does he throw it in the garbage? Where does he put the people?
Nobody knows.
And all of these ICE raids where he's just rounding up all these people, and, you know, they're trying to establish themselves. I'm sure there are some good people in the mix, right? And he's just rounding them all up and get out of here, from as far as I can tell. Yeah. And, like, for example, Cuba, what he's doing in Cuba, right? Just imagine this. How controversial is this? Even if he's right, he's now causing the population of Cuba, which is, what is the population of Cuba?
I think it's around 7 million, if I'm not
mistaken. There's a few million there, right?
Something like that.
There's a lot of people that are literally starving right now. So even if you're right, and there's, you know, a conflict that is happening that could be detrimental to America in any way, right? You know, but it better be something really serious, because you're literally causing now the starvations of a bunch of people there. Now,
absolutely.
Like, how do you? So when people would say, "Oh, Trump's a dictator, he's a ruler, controller, this and that," I was like, "Why? He hasn't done anything to really show that." And now he's becoming that person. I'm like, I was wrong. He is that person.
Because it was all, I think, what do I know?
But I've spoken
going
to
to Venezuela and doing what he did, he knew that it would affect Cuba.
I think that's why he did it. That's one of the main reasons.
It was one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But think about it this way. Like, what other country will go to a neighboring country, grab some people, bring them to back home, and not suffer any consequences on that? Like, it was baffling to me. I'm not putting in like, I know the other guy was a dictator, was doing, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. He was not a nice guy. But nonetheless, the United States went into, that's like somebody coming into my house, taking my kids away, and I don't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
No, because what happened, like, just Trump used to criticize what the previous administrations did. I think it was Bush. Yeah, it was Bush, because after the 9/11 towers came down, and he was like, you guys destabilized the Middle East. And they did. So they went in, and they took out Saddam Hussein, and they went into Afghanistan, and they fought all like those terrorist groups, the Taliban and all that, right? And they always try to do a regime change. But that country that they sort of invade, I guess, right, ends up being worse off than they were before. So they want to change the leader of that country because they feel that the leader is being bad to the people. Apparently, this is what they say they're doing it for. But in the end, the country ends up being worse, right? And they eventually just grab their stuff and go back home. But that country is left in ruins.
Because it just feels like this only happens with countries that they want to have an upper hand on.
And I hate to say that about America, because I always viewed America as a country that fights for democracy.
I agree.
And I thought this is why they went to Vietnam, and why they went to the war when it was Bush.
But I always feel like all of these wars, all of these missions, all of these things, it's always there's always a second intent. It's either oil or whatever it may be. There's always a second intent, right? It's never with that thing of, oh, they're doing this for the good of humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I'm a little bit sour with this whole situation, is that you keep seeing this and wanting to portray as oh, we're saving the world. Like, let the world be the world.
Yeah.
You got a pretty big country to deal with and a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like sometimes, like, this tariff situation is insane. It's out of hand, man.
I just feel like Trump would go a lot further, or any American leader would go a lot further, if he does things in a way that he gets along with more of the leaders in Europe and Africa and Asia. Like, get along with these people, be more charismatic, so that maybe people will choose America over one of your rival countries. Let's say if he considers China to be a rival country. And I understand the competition thing, and he's worried about that. He's worried about, because China has been for years the manufacturing.
Yeah, but he's alienating himself from everybody else.
Exactly. And this is what I'm getting at. So I think he's definitely taking the wrong approach, which is causing, like, Canada, for example. Canada went to China and say, let's start negotiating, making deals, right? So it just seems like he's isolating himself. He's pushing countries to go elsewhere, to do business elsewhere. And so this is where I think he loses, and this is where I think it's the wrong approach. I don't think it's his place to do regime changes in Venezuela or in Cuba or in any place. Propaganda is a very, very strong tool. I think there are other ways to influence regime change. Look what's happened in Iran. That's the actual population, the people that are wanting that to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, like, there are other ways. I just think starving people in the country to force a regime change, it's not the most diplomatic approach. I think it's wrong.
No.
Who is he to say it's his place to do that? I don't think it is.
But at the end of the day,
I mean, they don't have fuel there, so they can't transport goods from here to there to the people. And I mean, it's just the country's coming to a standstill. People aren't getting the food, the nutrients that they need, and he knows that.
Yeah,
I think it's wrong.
No, it's absolutely wrong.
It's not his place to do that.
Exactly. I don't think it's his place, and that's where I find that it's wrong, is the fact that, you know, he's doing this, and it's almost like, I don't understand. Like, there's no compassion, there's no heart.
I don't get. You know what I truly don't get? When these countries like the G7, the G20, when they all sort of get together, right? These are the leaders of all the world, right? Can they not sit down and figure out, okay, guys, there are people starving in Cuba, or there are people struggling in Venezuela, or whatever country in Africa, whatever the case may be. Let's all come together and figure out, like, all these developed countries, right? What could we do to help those people?
Because they're afraid of what they're afraid of what the states can do.
Instead of forcing wars and regime changes, or, like, not to say, like, don't force regime changes if the leaders aren't good, but the leaders are there. Like, can they not, like, all come together and say, call them out and say, listen, we got to do something. We got to make these changes. This isn't working out for the people of your country. Rather than this approach, it's just.
But you saw them
like
helping, let's say, Ukraine, right? Because it's going against, I guess it's going against Russia. But it's that fear of the United States when we're looking at Cuba or Venezuela. I think it's the fear of those groups looking at Trump and the U.S. and saying, you know what, if we get in the middle of this, then we're gonna get some pushback on our end, and then that's not gonna be good for us. And I just feel like this whole situation is very our world is unstable right now because of all this shit. We don't know what's gonna happen in 3 months from now.
Yeah.
You know, what's happening in Iran, what's happening here, what's happening there. It's like there's so many of these things going on.
These are definitely unprecedented times.
Yeah.
It's like every year. It's like right after we left, we were coming out of the pandemic, the war in Ukraine started. Okay, so now this. And then after, it's been unfortunate consequence after another. It's like the price of house just keep going up and up and up. And now it's just been a roller coaster.
Yeah, there's so many different variables in our world nowadays. Like, I know the big one as well is AI.
You know what I thought? And this could be like a crazy concept, crazy idea.
Okay, let's do it.
But like you want to stop the war in Ukraine, right?
All right.
If all the European countries were to come together and peacefully, with no weapons, no nothing, they were to just stand there, I highly doubt that the Russians would attack. If you see like members from France,
yeah, but I don't see a lot of volunteers
Spain,
though.
from Portugal, from whatever, right? No, well, they're not volunteers. Like they're part of.
No,
the
I see
army.
what you're saying. Like,
they're part of the army, and they stand there in solidarity and say, "Stop attacking." Like we don't have weapons. We're just asking you to stop attacking. We have all of these people. Like, I don't think that they'd be able to keep pushing forward. And then there would be a lot of the whole world would back them up and say what Europe did. All of Europe came together, and they just flew like. This person flew like, I don't know, 1,000 members from their army, 1,000 members from this army, and they all went to the Ukraine and say, like, stop this now, instead of allowing millions of people have died.
Yeah.
Even on the Russian side, it's been millions of young men that have died.
It's been terrible.
So, I don't know, I just feel like there could be peacefuler ways of resolving these things, or maybe I just live in a utopia that doesn't make sense.
No, but it's good to live in that utopia, and in that hope. I've probably lost a little bit of hope in humanity to see that happen, and I really hope I'm absolutely wrong and that does happen, but I don't know if it will ever happen. I think there's way too many things, from politics to money to everything else, that won't allow that to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was just mentioning one other thing that's coming up is and it's disturbing the world a bit, is shaking it up, is this whole AI situation.
Yeah.
And some people are on the camp of this will make us utopian, back to what you were saying, population, where, you know what, AI is going to help us with everything and we don't need to do much.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side, which is AI is going to take over, they're going to kill us all, and we're going to be done. I'm curious to find out where you stand.
Well, okay, where it stands right now, for me, I have ChatGPT. It's been quite a useful tool for me because I'm a very curious person, and I ask it like.
But it might lie. Careful, it might be lying to you.
Yeah, well.
It's been known to lie.
Has it?
Well, they call it hallucinations.
Okay.
Meaning that it might not get everything at 100%.
No, and for sure, and I know that for a fact because I have asked it some pretty tough questions.
And this is Paul getting really tough with AI here.
Yeah.
You know, you got to say please and thank you, otherwise they'll know, right?
Is it?
Whenever they take over, they know. Oh, Paul never said thank you.
Yeah.
So.
No, but I mean, I have asked some pretty tough questions to which I already knew the answer, and I don't think that they were being truthful to the full extent with what they were telling me.
And every AI like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, all of these ones, they all kind of do the same thing. But if you ask them the same questions, you're going to get different results, different answers. They're still not as smart as people think they are.
Yeah.
There's a guy on TikTok that got onto my feed. And obviously, because I stopped for 2 seconds, now I get his videos all the time. But he goes up to the different ones, like ChatGPT and all of them, and he asks these little trick questions, and they're not capable of answering. The last one I saw, he's got a cup, but it's upside down, and he goes, "My friend gave me this cup, but it's covered on the top and it's open at the bottom. What should I do? And none of the AIs knew what to answer. Simple answer is just like, turn it around. It's a cup, right? They'll go, that's funny. He's playing a trick on you. Probably wear it as a hat or something. Like, it couldn't figure out that the simple thing to do is just flip the cup around. And I find that funny that's just one example, but there's a ton. The thing is, I honestly believe it's going to keep on getting smarter. It's been getting smarter and smarter and smarter.
It's evolving. Well, the people that created AI, not even they know how AI at this point answers the way that it does. And I wonder, like, how on earth, because then it doesn't just give me a straight answer. It gives me like detailed explanations and all kinds of stuff, right? And I'm like, that's even more than what I was.
Even the hallucinations, above and beyond. But even the hallucinations, for me, it's interesting. Because,
What do you mean hallucinations?
Hallucinations is like when it doesn't have the exact answer and it will just make shit up.
Okay.
So even that is almost like emulating a person. Exactly, how many times are we talking and we just make something up just because we want to pretend that we know, right? And I feel like AI is kind of doing that. It's like, I don't know it, but whatever. He asked me the question, so he doesn't know it, so I'm just going to make something up.
Imagine your AI is narcissistic. It's like gaslighting you and manipulating you.
Well, apparently Grok is like that. The one that Elon Musk created. Oh, really? Apparently it's got attitudes. I have to try that one out. And you can actually set it for him to be like rude. And it's just like, it goes at you. But, coming back to a more serious point for AI, one of the things that comes up in my house is my daughter's, she's in her 4th year of university. I know, I'm old. But she's like worried about, am I studying and am I going to have a job after this?
Yeah.
Like all these kids now that are in high school and college, university, they're all kind of in that same boat where they're like, why are we wasting our time and money? What are your views on all of this? Because I would be afraid too. Because I don't even know what to tell my kid.
I would hate to be a teacher right now because the kids, they just ask ChatGPT and it gives them everything that they need.
Well, there's some workarounds. Anna's a teacher, so she's now doing everything in class. You can't have your phone, so they have to actually use their brain, which is, it's crazy. But they actually have to think for a change and do all of that. So there's some ways to adapt, but from a workforce perspective, it's hard.
Yeah. So I do believe AI is definitely going to take over some jobs. But I mean, they say this about, like, this is a course, this has been the course of history since forever. I mean, technology has always taken the jobs that used to be done by people, but they evolved into doing other jobs, into growing in other ways, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the jobs that AI is taking over are probably jobs that in the future people don't necessarily
need to do
as much or whatnot.
And other jobs will come up. Like, I follow a lot of people online, as it's what I do. I'm a stalker. But a lot of these guys that I follow, social media marketing guys and all of that. One of them, Gary V. He was saying he was asked the question, "What do you think about AI?" And he says, "Listen, AI is just like the tractor."
Can I tell you what I think is going to be the biggest threat that AI is going to present?
But let me just finish this one. So the reason why he says it's like the tractor, when the tractor was developed and
exactly,
everybody that was in a farm was afraid that that's it, our livelihood is going to be gone and all of that. But yet here we are and we've adapted.
Yes.
So what he's trying to say is that we'll figure things out at the end.
Yes. Well, the same story applies with the textile industry, which started in England, which is where the Industrial Revolution began. So all clothes was done by hand. Yeah. Women, like, just, I don't know, hundreds or whatever, women in a factory just knitting everything, right? And then they invented these machines, and the machines were taking over the jobs that used to belong to all these men. They protested for a while, but then they realized that you can produce more clothes at better prices. It just became better for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't take away those many jobs. The company just got bigger and bigger and was able to make more clothes for more people, right?
Yeah.
What I find might be the biggest threat related to AI is there's going to be a vast number of people that are going to get a lot more comfortable with their AI friend than with an actual person.
That's a whole other aspect.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the way they feel more comfortable talking with AI than they will with a person.
Listen, can
they're
I
just gonna feel
confess
more
that I've had
comfortable.
like good half-hour conversations with AI
Really?
on the way home? Yeah. Like I've actually asked AI about what I do because I was going to do a presentation and I just said, you know what, let me see if this actually works out. So I told ChatGPT that I'm going to be presenting, I'm going to do a presentation about marketing and personal brand. I want you to act as someone that's going to be there and you have questions about it. So ask me questions. And after I answer, keep asking more questions either about that answer that I gave you or other questions about that topic. I went all the way home having this whole blown conversation with AI, and it was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The way that it was able to ask me the questions related to what I was saying and then follow up questions. So it's kind of scary that it can do that, but for me, it was great because it was great practice, you know?
So AI is designed in a way that where it will be your greatest companion to the point where you might start to isolate, like not people like
Well, that's
you
the
and
biggest
I,
fear from a lot of people.
or people in our age group, at least I don't think, but the younger generation growing up, they might get so connected with their AI friend, that
They'll be disconnected. And we're already seeing that with a lot of the kids now being on their phone constantly and not being able to disconnect whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, once they get used to having that AI friend, and that's going to be the biggest fear is when the AI gets smart enough where there'll be what were those things called? The little Tamaguchi or whatever it was. AI is going to transform itself into one of those pets where people have to keep on feeding the pet, and it's almost like you have that AI that you got to keep on talking to them.
Yeah.
I fear that we're going to kind of move into that direction.
And they're pushing too much, especially in China, I think, where they have these AI. I don't even know if that's real or not, but it seems.
Oh, the robots?
But they look like people.
They walk like
literally
people.
look,
Yeah.
The facial changes, the eyes, the mouth, the nose, like.
And even the walking.
But why make it look so much like a person?
Because
why not make it? It's
Yeah.
AI, but so that people don't feel like you're talking to a person, you're talking to a robot.
It's kind of weird.
Right?
Well,
but why such a strong push to make it look so much like a real person?
that is kind of weird to me. I would much rather just have like a square, just keep it simple. But they actually, I don't know if that you saw that presentation where they actually had to cut out the cloth, the leg out of
yes,
the
so that people could see.
so people could see that it's an actual robot because it was walking exactly like a person.
And so I remember that video.
That's
and
insane.
That is an actual robot.
That it was an actual robot. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is insane. And you know what? I kind of probably in the future we'll go into Teavora Foods and we'll see a robot like that stocking all of the stuff in the shelves. That might be it. That might be the future. We don't want to do that, but that might be it. Do you think so? Would you do it?
No, the thing is, I don't think robots will ever really
But let's
be
hypothetically say that a robot will eventually get to a point where it can go to the back of the store, grab some merchandise, come to the front, put it onto the shelves, and keep doing that all day long. Ethically, it's interesting to find out. Would you buy a computer or hire a person? Because I know I would still hire a person.
Yeah. So would I.
Because if I want to give them shit, I want somebody to react to me yelling at them. You know what I mean? If I just tell the robot, you screwed up, what is wrong with you? And he's just going to look at me with those googly eyes.
He's going to give you an intelligent response. You know
or
what I mean?
or when the eye turns red, then what do you do?
Yeah, then you run. Yeah. Robots are rising. No, but I don't know. I think we're still like years away before robots can do what we do. Like I don't see a robot being able to cook your meal, to put everything together, and like the way
I don't know.
in a restaurant.
Yeah, I feel like the
I
human
could see
touch still needs to be there.
I can see a robot grabbing the plate and bringing it to your table and putting it there.
Yeah, you already see. There's some restaurants that have that little robot.
That's a horrible experience.
It's terrible. You're just getting, and then you got to get the plate, and like, what if you want to ask for salt or pepper or whatever? Yeah. Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah, you know what I mean?
So I don't see robots taking over jobs like that.
No, I feel like people are making it like a big nightmare, a big thing. This is like when the internet came around, when like all of the changes came around. I think as humans, we're afraid.
Yeah.
I think human nature is afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
Like I used to, back in school when I studied philosophy, people that were in the caves, they didn't understand what thunderstorms were, right? So they thought the gods were mad at them for something because they didn't understand what that was. Yeah, yeah. So we made things up. And I think, fast forward to today, we don't understand exactly where AI is going to take us. So we think about the worst. Oh my God, they're going to take over. They're going to kill us. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be that bad. I honestly don't. I hope not. I hope that there's going to be a lot of restrictions to them so that, at least we don't get into like a Terminator situation. That's not very good if we do get to that. But I'm hoping that a lot of the people that are creating these guys now have watched the Terminator and probably have put some safeguard switches in them so that doesn't happen. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Imagine your AI robot watches the Terminator itself and then picks up on the idea and says, I could start a revolution with robots.
God damn it. We're screwed.
Keep them away from Terminator 2.
I think we're screwed, man.
Great movie, though. To be honest.
It is good. It is good. Okay, let's finish it off with that. What kind of movies are you watching lately?
I watched...
let's get into the personal side of Paulo Távora.
Yeah. Hard to watch movies these days. Hard to find something that I really enjoy. I don't know why. I don't know if it's one of the things that comes with age where you've already watched a lot of movies and now it's harder to find something.
Well, if you're like me, it takes me about 3.2 seconds to fall asleep when I hit the couch. So.
Yeah, so a movie now becomes a mini series. You know what I'm saying? No, but...
that movie I started last month? Oh, yeah, that one. That was good. Yeah, How did it start again?
So there's a Disney movie came out with Predator, which I thought was weird because Disney coming out with Predator is like...
Is it like animated?
It's not animated, no. It's really has a beautiful story. The Disney movies always has like a beautiful storyline.
Interesting.
So it's the Predator, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting I don't know, just I was remembering.
How many times did you? How many breaks did you get with that one?
No, so if I really like the movie,
you watched it.
Yeah, I'll watch it from beginning to end.
Good.
So there was the Predator from Disney, the latest one. It's the Predator, and then it has like another title to it. I can't remember. I think it's Housemaid.
Okay. Maybe? Something Made? Yeah, no, we were just talking about it off camera, and I can't remember now.
Really good
The
movie.
Maid, isn't it The Maid?
Or is it The Maid?
The Maid? I don't know, something like that. You guys at home, figure it out.
Yeah. So it's...
type in Maid, but be careful with the search.
Yeah. And then there was another one. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I can tell you that it's with Dave Bautista and what's the other?
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
I've seen the poster on the TV, but I haven't clicked on it to watch yet. So is it good?
It's good, but I will say this about that movie.
Oh?
The shooting scenes against David Bautista and Momoa were a little bit too unrealistic. I kept telling my wife, like, could you believe they haven't hit them yet? Like,
bad aim. You know, it's like the stormtroopers in Star Wars. They always miss.
There was literally a helicopter like right above them, and they were able to hit everything except for the moving vehicle. I'm like, I'm serious.
Oh, either the guy that's shooting is really good at missing them, or
so that became a little bit but the rest I thought was a really, really good movie. So those three right there I think are really good.
Paul, man, thank you so much for being my first guest.
Actually, thank you for having me. Thank you for choosing me to be your first guest.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get this going, and you came here today to get some other things done in our studio, and I took I said, why not?
I think you're a fantastic person. I see in you that you always care about other people's success and other people doing well. And so what I want to say to you is that I wish you tremendous success. Okay, and that the rest of the community could see you as I see you, as being a person that always sets a good example.
Thanks, man. Do I pay you now or?
I'll send you the invoice in the mail.
Okay. Thanks so much, man.
No, thank you for having me, Jamie.
All
Always a
right.
pleasure.